I've found myself often happiest on my own in areas of nature. I love the peace that I can find with the quiet, the birds, the trees. It allows me to relax, gives me a break from people and a source of release from any sort of stresses I might make throughout the week. So my name is Xander. I'm 24. I'm a transgender woman. I go by they, them, she, they, and I'm also ace. It took me a long time to figure out that I was transgender. All through my childhood and teen years, I knew something was different. So I grew up in Singleton. Everybody knew everyone. I lived just outside of town. I had very limited access, especially when it comes to LGBTQ plus identities and experiences. I was surrounded by educators telling me that ultimately what I was feeling was against all their beliefs. And there was even one or two teachers who straight up didn't believe that trans and gender diverse people existed. I spent most of my teenage years in a very depressive state. I ended up forcing myself into a position where I heavily suppressed my own emotions and my own feelings, and it left me feeling numb. It led me to a lot of desire for escapism. I found my initial freedoms via role-playing games as a medium. And that gave me a route to sort of explore characters that didn't necessarily need to be bound by the traditional binaries. And that allowed me to sort of explore my own emotions and helped me find what felt right. But I wanted to explore a medium that was beyond Dungeons and Dragons, to explore my identity beyond paper. And I found LARP, live action role playing. That was my first proper experience around other gender diverse people. I'd stepped out and found a group that was somewhere between 50 and 75% diverse. And it almost overwhelmed me. It made me feel safe. It was the first place that I felt truly safe in a long time. I've been living out of this van full time for the last nearly 3 years, and as a result, I now live a lifestyle where I can go where I please, stay where I like, and I don't need to worry about bills or rent or anything of the kind. So my experience first started as a desire for my own freedom of self and autonomy. And that slotted right in with a position that I managed to pick up with a large tyre chain in Australia. Suddenly, I was bouncing everywhere from Canberra to Grafton. And I fell in love with the kind of freedom that came with being able to carry everything you own. If I were to advise anybody else who may have found themselves in a similar situation to what I experienced, the biggest words of advice I could potentially give you would be prioritize your own safety above anything else. You don't owe your authenticity to anybody else except yourself. So in 5 years, I'd like to see myself out on the road. I'd like to see myself continuing to live my authentic life. And I'd love to be able to pass through my next town and stop by the local GP and pick up my next batch of treatment and continue traveling.